It's the news we've all been fearing, as Warner Bros.' upcoming live-action animation hybrid Looney Tunes movie, Coyote Vs Acme, is officially dead. All the depressing details right here. Only weeks after we got news that the thought-cancelled Porky and Daffy movie, The Day the Earth Blew Up, was finally on the way and set for a surprise theatrical release, the Looney Tunes have taken another unexpected blow. That's right, the
Warner Animation decimation
makes an unexpected, frustrating comeback, as we have yet another big casualty, with the long-gestating Coyote Vs Acme officially cancelled by Warner Bros. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Coyote Vs Acme completed filming in New Mexico last year, and Deadline added that the film, much like the cancelled Batgirl feature, had actually been completed. Animation fans will recall that Coyote Vs Acme was originally announced as an HBO Max exclusive, and was later sent for theatrical release on July 1, 2023, before Warner Bros. Replaced it with Barbie, the biggest movie of the year. Coyote then slipped off Warner's release schedule, and its fate has been left hanging in the balance. I reported only a few weeks ago that I was under the impression the movie wasn't that far off. Sources tell me that the movie did receive a few test screenings and performed fairly well. Another source told me that a trailer was set to drop imminently. So this appears to be a very swift, yet perhaps long-boiling development. Hollywood Reporter claims that the decision to scrap the film is a ramification of animation executive Bill Damashki taking over the Warner Animation Group earlier this year, with a Warner Bros. Motion Picture Group spokesperson quoted as saying, "With the relaunch of Warner Bros. Pictures Animation in June, the studio has shifted its global strategy to focus on theatrical releases. With this new direction, we have made the difficult decision not to move forward with Coyote vs Acme. We have tremendous respect for the filmmakers, cast and crew, and are grateful for their contributions to the film." Deadline furthers the discussion, noting that once again, much like Batgirl, Warner's decision to shelve Coyote comes down to financials, with the studio allegedly using the movie as a $30 million tax write-off, reclaiming some of its budget, which is said to have been a mere $70 million. Unfortunately, given these circumstances, it would be illegal for Warner Bros. To ever release the movie or sell it to another distributor, as they have done with The Day the Earth Blew Up. So please don't get your hopes up that one day we will get to see this movie. The only chance we will have of ever seeing this one is if someone involved in the film's production took it upon themselves. Based on a 1990 humor article published by Ian Frazier in The New Yorker, Coyote vs Acme was set to follow the fan favourite Looney Tune as he attempts to sue the Acme Corporation after decades of malfunctioning products result in personal injuries, loss of business income, and mental suffering. It was set to be the next in a line of Looney Tunes hybrid features, which of course includes the two Space Jams and 2023's Looney Tunes Back in Action. Other tunes were supposedly set to feature in the film. The movie was set to be pretty big. It was co-written and co-produced by Guardians of the Galaxy's James Gunn and directed by Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows' Dave Green. Both the Reporter and Deadline confirmed rumors that John Cena filmed a live-action role for the movie, playing the villainous CEO of the Acme Corporation, while Deadline confirmed two more stars attached to the movie, comedian Will Forte and relative newcomer Lana Condor, most recently seen as the lead voice in DreamWorks' Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken. Deadline also gave further details on the movie, saying that it was set to follow Wile E. Coyote, who, after Acme products fail him one too many times in his dogged pursuit of the Roadrunner, decides to hire a billboard lawyer to sue the Acme Corporation. The case pits Wile E. and his lawyer, played by Will Forte, against the latter's intimidating former boss, played by John Cena. But a growing friendship between man and cartoon stokes their determination to win. This is pretty frustrating news for Looney Tunes fans, as it was just looking like the Looney Renaissance was back on track, and I do apologise to any fans out there whose hopes I got up a few weeks ago when I reported that a trailer was just around the corner. I was very excited for this one too, and am genuinely pissed off that we have to go through this all over again with a production that has been long awaited and eagerly anticipated by fans. Even those at the heart of the situation are starting to get, quite rightly, pretty irritated with the continual shelvings, with current Bugs and Daffy voice actor Eric Bowser, who hasn't been confirmed to have been involved in the movie but probably was, taking to social media to vent his frustration, saying, "Here's a crazy thought. WB Discovery might have a better shot at capturing a younger audience if they stopped shelving/canning all of their kids' movies and animated series for tax dollars. I could be wrong." Director Green also took to social to comment on the devastating blow, saying, "For 3 years I was lucky enough to make a movie about Wile E. Coyote, the most persistent, passionate and resilient character of all time. I was surrounded by a brilliant team who poured their souls into this project for years. We were all determined to honour the legacies of these historic characters and actually get them right. Along the ride, we were embraced by test audiences who rewarded us with fantastic scores. I am beyond proud of the final product and beyond devastated by Warner Brothers' decision, but in the spirit of Wile E. Coyote, resilience and persistence win the day." The film star John Cena took to Instagram hours before the news was even announced with a simple picture of the Looney Tunes colorings with the words "The End." The film's composer Stephen Price said, "Disappointed and somewhat mystified by the Coyote Vs Acme news. Dave Green made and completed an excellent movie, and a lot of people, not least the brilliant musicians and colleagues who worked with me on the score, poured their hearts into it. I'm sad that fans of these characters, new and old, won't get to enjoy it in the months and years ahead. It's a really good film. Sadly, on this occasion, due to this decision, that's all, folks." Other filmmakers who had the chance to see the movie have even spoken out on the matter. Are You Afraid of the Dark creator, Ben David Grabinski, said, "Coyote vs. Acme is a great movie. The best of its kind since Roger Rabbit. It's commercial, it tested well, the leads are super likable, it's beautifully shot, the animation is great, the ending makes everyone cry. I thought the goal of this business was to make hit movies. This makes me feel insane. It's a great movie. It's based on a huge IP. It's a crowd pleaser. What are we even doing anymore? I really don't know how we've gone from the Battle of Brazil to extremely effective commercial movies being deleted for tax purposes. I will never ever understand this." No One Will Save You writer-director Brian Duffield said, "I have seen the movie and it is excellent. It also tested in the high 90s repeatedly. It also had interested buyers. The people working at Warner Brothers are anti-art and I hope multiple anvils drop on their heads." Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul writer-producer Thomas Schnauz said, "My kids saw an early screening of this movie and it was absolutely fun. What a ridiculous shame that something like this can happen after so many people worked so hard on a project." Film editor Spencer Houck said, "I saw a test screening of Coyote vs. Acme at Warner Brothers the very same day the studio was doing its funeral screenings of Batgirl for the cast and crew on the lot. It was likely playing next door while I was watching Coyote shit up for Acme, a giant corporation who made bad products." And the Machine director Peter Atencio said, "This is insane. First of all, a business model that incentivizes this. Secondly, this movie is great. I was lucky to get to see some and it's hilarious with incredible animation. What a disgusting turn of events, especially with a huge gaping hole in the release calendar. I just can't recommend anyone working with Warner Brothers under this current regime. The risks are too great and it's way past time the guilds deal with this bullshit. Too many great artists are getting pissed on in the name of free cash flow and shareholder value." Tapping the sign once again to remind my fellow filmmakers to always keep your work backed up in case a dude with 5 houses decides he needs a tax write-off. This does not give me a good gut feeling about that other Looney Tunes movie that is currently in limbo. Of course, the musical feature Bye Bye Bunny, starring Bugs and Daffy in the leads. We've not heard anything on this one for the best part of a year, but I do have my fingers crossed that that one does manage to get through the gate. As always, I will be here to update on any news as it drops in. At that, I want to know your thoughts on the cancellation of Coyote vs. Acme. As always, join the conversation down below.